remember when you were growing up, maybe you still do this now. When you go to do a sport, go do some sort of physical exercise, right? They say, hey, take a few minutes and warm up. If you're in the gym, like your trainer's gonna tell you this, take a few minutes, stretch, get yourself kind of limber, and just let your muscles relax and then warm up before you start getting to exercise. Why do you need to warm up? Can't you just go in and do the exercise, not worry about the warm up at all? Yeah, you could, but it's to help you so you don't get an injury, so you don't strain a muscle, so you don't pull something. Now, I was thinking about that. I was like, maybe you can do that with ADHD. I'm not saying like, hey, I'm going to warm up ADHD. That sounds really weird, kind of funny. Well, not funny, it just sounds kind of weird, right? Do something before you do an activity that you struggle with ADHD. You're like, I'm going to play this video game, I'm going to play it for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to do my other activity that I want to do or that I don't want to do. I just have to do it this time. But because I don't want to get right into it and it kind of makes me nervous, I want to do something else to let me warm up. So maybe you're like, hey, I got this really hard, stressful paper project, whatever, right? That I have to do. And so to warm up for that, you're like, okay, I know this is going to be mentally challenging. It's going to take all my attention, going to take all my focus. Before I do that, why don't I do some Sudoku? Not a great Sudoku player, or I don't know what you call a person that does Sudoku. Are they a player? Not sure. But I'm not good at Sudoku, right? I'm just not. But other people are great at Sudoku, and you may be one of those people that's great at it, and that you find Sudoku really relaxing. Because if you go tackle this really complicated, this really hard, mentally straining thing, and you just dive right in, a lot of times it's just overwhelming. You're just like, man, stop. I don't want to do this. Well, if you take a little bit of time and do some other activity, even if it is related or not related to that activity, then it may just help you kind of ease into that. Just think about it. You ever play like basketball? Maybe you have, but I like basketball. So I'm going to explain it in the basketball kind of analogy, right? So you ever play basketball and you're getting ready to play a game and you have 10 minutes before the game. You're like, okay, I got 10 minutes. That 10 minutes is your warm up period. You can do layups, free throws, whatever, run back and forth on the court, just stretch, do whatever you want to, right? Now, the reason I know that warm ups are important because even in the NBA, you see them warm up. See them go out, get the ball, shoot around, try to get kind of a feel for the court, get a feel for the goal. And these are professional athletes. So I know that it's important because of the fact that these professional athletes, so they're watching on TV and they are warming up. They're like, shooting the ball, whatever, shooting it and dribbling around. And so I know that a warm up is important. If I can find a way to do that for ADHD, it might be an amazing thing. But just doing something that kind of relates, doing something that makes me more relaxed so that when I approach that other thing that I'm trying to do, I won't be so uptight. I won't be so wound up. I have this big project due. I'm about to start on. I don't know if I can do well at it. I don't know if I have all the information. I think I have all the information and it's right in front of me, but I'm nervous about it. Now, if you've taken time to kind of do something else that's similar to the projects, at least something that is kind of a mentally challenging thing before you start doing the really mentally challenging thing, then it may help because you've kind of started your mind in that process of being or approaching something that's mentally challenging, right? You're like, okay, brain, I know I'm about to do this super extra mentally challenging thing. So I'm gonna give you a warm up. I'm gonna let you play the Sudoku thing or some other kind of game so that we can ease into this other thing. All right. We can tackle this other thing, but I'm gonna give you a little bit to kind of ease us into this other thing. And so that's part of what a warm up is thinking about something you can do that makes you more comfortable with the thing that you are about to approach. And kind of just take some time and get relaxed, right? I'm just going to take a little bit of time, do this, and then I'll go tackle the big thing. I'm going to get myself a little bit warmed up to tackle the big activity I want to do. If you are just not a good cook, I'm not a good cook. And maybe you want to learn how to cook, but maybe you're like, I am not good in the kitchen and I burn water. That's just not me. And so you're like, I want to go and try to cook. And you look at the meals in the book and you're like, these are complicated meals. I can't cook that yet. You kind of work yourself up, right? To that thing. You're like, okay, before I start doing this recipe, which I know is really hard, I'm going to try something pretty simple. Maybe I'll just start doing the vegetables or whatever, and then I'll go back and do this bigger part of the meal. So I think you feel better about it when you've done a little bit of something and now you're going to do something kind of similar, and that makes you a little more relaxed. Now, don't forget, exercise can also be a warm up for other things. But remember, you got to warm up for your exercise first, and then use exercise as the warm up for the other activity. It sounds really complicated, but if you're going to use exercise, you still have to warm up for the exercise, and then the exercise also can be a warm up for something else. So maybe it's a double warm up, maybe. If you add another thing to warm up in there, you're doing a triple warm up, which gets really complicated. And yes, that's a tangent and all, but the point is you can use things like exercise to get you warmed up to do another activity, even if the activity doesn't relate to exercise. Now you use exercise to kind of relax you to get you more comfortable. And that's awesome because you're doing exercise, you're getting a little bit of exercise in during that day, during that time, and now you're using it to be more relaxed for the activity that you're about to do. And yes, you have to do the double, triple warm up thing. It still can be a good alternative to other things that you can't do at the time. Well, I never thought I'd be talking about ADHD warm ups, but just how my brain works at the time because I was just thinking about it and saying, that might be an idea that can help somebody. That might be an idea that can help them understand how to ease into things and make yourself more comfortable with them. So, what do you think about this? What do you think about ADHD warmers? Do you think it's something that you would use? Do you think it's something that you could implement? Do you think it's something that would be beneficial to you or beneficial to somebody else? All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. And I hope that you have a great and wonderful rest of your day. And I will talk to you later.
Thank you for watching this episode or listening to this episode of the Rewired Fitness Podcast. If you're on YouTube or podcast app, go and click the subscribe button for me. And if you're on YouTube, ring the notification bell as well as leave a like and a comment. And just a reminder, if you're on YouTube, you can listen to all episodes on any digital platform. Thank you again and have a great day.